context about where we're going, okay? So the place that we're going was created by this guy named Neal Smith, right? And it's kind of funny because he went to the same high school that I went to, which is crazy because like the average graduating class was maybe like 40, 50. So it's kind of rare to come across someone that has done something like this from the same high school that I went to. It's pretty awesome. So they created this protected area, and they started with about, I think it was six Iowa buffalo. So they only wanted to start with these 6 buffalo and just kind of like protect those ones. And now, today, they started this in like 1996. And today, they have like over 60 buffalo now, which is crazy. That's awesome because they haven't added any more bison. So this is all like the natural process of animals reproducing in a protected environment. Also, another fun fact, you will learn something from this video, I promise you. Another fun fact is Iowa's natural landscape is tall grass prairie, okay? And that's like the classic Midwest landscape is tall grass prairie. Well, unlike mountains or forests or like swamps or oceans, tall grass prairie is the most endangered of these landscapes, ecosystems. And there's only about like 5% left in the United States anyways that I know of that's being protected, which is kind of sad because it provides so many different resources for different animals, and they have different plant species that are great for pollinators and birds. It's just so much more diverse than, say, someone's lawn of grass, right? So we're gonna go to this place and I want to show you some of Iowa's, or I guess the Midwest, natural beauty before it got taken over by agriculture and commercial building, I guess you could say. So, yeah. I think I told you everything. I think we got it all. One of my professors, if you've seen my previous videos, you know Dr. B, he does he does tall grass prairie restoration, which is really cool because then he takes students out to go experience and figure out how to conserve these landscapes and to learn about how they impact our environment and ecosystem, you know. So hopefully today I'm planning on seeing some buffalo. I keep getting confused with bison and buffalo. I need to look up the difference for you. Let's go explore. If you're into birds, here's all the birds that make stops at this wildlife refuge. Pretty cool. So here we are. We made it. You can see all the tall grass, and they have a road kind of like driving through it, so then you can do like a drive tour, or they also have walking trails, so you can either walk, bike, or stay in your car where it's nice and warm. Let's go take a look. So, in case you didn't know what tall grass prairie was, just imagine grass that's tall, but the roots are like 3-5 times the length of how tall this grass is. So the roots go deep in the ground and they keep the ground from like eroding, and they also help keep structures for animals that like to dig in the ground, dig tunnels. You can also see here some of these plants here. Obviously these are dead, they're not in season, but they used to have seeds on here, which helps them disperse and have variety in there. The seeds would be right there in there, and that's how wildflowers spread, is because each little buddy here would have all these seeds. So sometimes they have to go in and control, especially the invasive species. When they have a bunch of these, it's really hard to control invasive species, which is why they become invasive, because there's just so many, it's hard to control them. But I can show you again back at the beginning some flowers when they're in season, what kind of flowers we have here at the Tallgrass Prairie. But another unique thing is, look at the beautiful golden color. It's a little windy and kind of gloomy today, but I don't know if you could tell, the tallgrass prairie, this color right now is beautiful. It's like a golden amber color. About 6,000 acres here of protected land, which is awesome. It's one of the few protected areas that are protecting the tallgrass prairie, which is really important because, like I said, it's only about 5% now of the land. I don't know, is it ecosystem or I feel like that's not the right word, but because of so much of the agricultural land taking out this prairie, that is mostly why it's become endangered, because Iowa mostly is farm ground, and so they had to have all this room and acreage for the crops, which is what provided them with a job, money, ways to support their family. So in the time where they didn't realize how important they were, I guess I understand that, but now that we know how important like ecosystems like the tallgrass prairie are, I just wish there was a little bit more of an effort to protect them. I also think tallgrass prairie is one of the most underappreciated of all the landscapes, because I feel like the beaches and oceans and the forests and mountains are pretty high on the list of people wanting to protect those, which, not gonna lie, I think they're pretty cool too, but they all matter, right? They all provide and support life. It's windy today. I'll have to bring you back during the summer months, because I hope you can only just imagine the wildflowers that are here. It's gonna be so pretty. There's a gravel road, and I don't really want to go on gravel, but I wonder if that's where the bison are. Okay, I found the visitor center, so we're gonna go check it out. Okay, never mind about the visitor center, because I guess it's closed because of weather damage or storm damage. But I do remember, so I have the video where it said Monarch Way Station. I'm pretty sure this is the place. We went on a field trip here in like 2nd grade, and we got to tag monarch butterflies. In case you don't know what that means, they put this really lightweight, delicate sticker on a butterfly's wing, because you know butterfly wings are already pretty delicate, and then when they migrate down to Mexico where it's warmer during the winter. That's where they lay their eggs, fly down, you know, the whole cycle. But what the tags do is it tells you where they're coming from. They tell you to see how many butterflies make it down to Mexico. So that was kind of cool. That was a cool little like memory capture or something. I don't know. My hair is a mess. Just looked up what the difference is between bison and buffalo. Okay, buffalo are more similar to cows. They have a smaller head and body, and their fur is a bit more slick, I guess, versus bison have a larger head and they have a hump like right behind their neck, making them bigger and larger, and their fur is a bit longer and kind of shaggier. So I hope that helps both of us. Looks like I have to go on the gravel to do the wildlife drive. Go see the Iowa buffalo. Hold on, let me look it up again, because I feel like I'm not sharing the correct information. Goodness gracious, I am so sorry. It was bison. It was bison. I don't know why I kept telling you buffalo. Now that I think about it, I don't even know what I was saying in the previous videos. The Neal Smith Wildlife Refuge is here to protect tallgrass prairie, native plant species, bison, and elk. 6,000 acres of protected land. Hopefully I'm giving you the right information. If I misspoke, I apologize. If you still have questions, you know what to do. Put it in a comment. I will correct myself and educate you, because the world is better when we're educated. Bison are in an enclosure, which is crazy, because I always wondered when I drove by this place how they kept the bison from going in the road. But they have at the entrance that I just drove over. Is that them? Do I see them? Oh, there they are! Okay, at the entrance of the road there are grates and like bars, and it prevents animals, usually they use it for like cow or sheep, to not cross over the road, I guess, but still allow people to drive over it, which is pretty cool. Oh my gosh, I gotta show you this. It doesn't even look real. I hope you're as excited as I am about seeing this. There they are. Oh my gosh. That was so cool. That was so cool. I want to show you the grates. So this is the grates. You can see they're just kind of like bars, and it's to keep all the animals out, or to keep them in, because they have like hooves. It's hard for them to walk across the bars, so once they get their like foot stuck in it, they can't go any further. And so it's just a great way to not have to use fence and to allow people to drive through without having someone constantly opening and closing like a gate or something. But yeah, I learned that in Iceland. If you would love to come visit the Neal Smith Wildlife Refuge, it is in Prairie City here in Iowa. It's about 20 minutes from Des Moines. It's a great place to see wildlife and native species of Iowa and the Midwest. The tallgrass prairie is one of the most endangered landscapes in the United States, and I assume in the world. There's only about 5% of it left in the US, which is crazy because it provides so much natural beauty, as well as homes and resources and food and shelter and protection and yada 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 for so many wildlife species, including humans. Thanks for coming along with me. I hope you learned something new. I hope you appreciate Iowa and Tallgrass Prairie a little bit more, just a little bit. Here's a little overview of the park. This is the bison and elk enclosure, and then this is the road that you can drive through. And as you can see, this whole area isn't protected, so there's like houses along here, which is kind of cool. Be kind of a cool spot to live. But they also have a bunch of different nature trails. Tallgrass trails, they protect tallgrass prairies. Oak savannas, those are a tree, these trees, those are also protected here. My professor works on restoring prairies, and so one of the ways to maintain that is they do burns. This helps prevent other species from overtaking the prairies, such as like shrubs and trees, as well as invasive plants, and it helps preserve the natural plants. So then once they do that, burns also help remove dead vegetation and help grow new plants. Many of the non-native plants are damaged by the fire, and it allows the native plants a better chance at survival, having to grow without competition against those. And then here's the roots that I was talking about. So you have like your plants, and so the wildflowers are included in the prairies. So you have wildflower plants and your tall grasses. There's a bunch of different grasses, okay? But as you can see, the roots are like 2-3 times the length of the actual plant, which is crazy because like I said, it helps prevent erosion, and it just kind of supports the ground to make it a lot more fertile and better, I guess. So that's really cool. Here are the flowers that come in the springtime. We have our Ohio spiderwort, butterfly milkweed. I love this one. That helps butterflies get the food and nutrients that they need. Black-eyed Susans are really popular here. We also have a small sunflower as well as these cone flowers. Those are also pretty popular. But we also have these cool little guys, and these are called Prairie blazing stars. And those are pretty fun. I haven't seen too many of them, but that's pretty cool, right? And of course, the bison. We have our bison. That's who we're protecting here in the tallgrass prairie, and they thrive in the grass because it provides them with food and protection. And then we also have our elk here, which is what we saw earlier today. So yeah, cool stuff. As I have previously stated, I am by no means an expert. I didn't even study nature or biology or any of that stuff in college besides like my 2 classes on environmental science, but I do love learning about it, and I'm really passionate about the environment and our ecosystem, and I love teaching it to other people and getting them to learn more and appreciate it as well. So if you have any questions, I would love to answer them to the best of my ability. If you ask questions, it's like a mutual experience, you know, we both learn something along the way. Tallgrass Prairie is just so underappreciated, and I just wish more people just knew a little bit more about it and all the aspects that it has to offer. And I think when people think of grass, they think of like their lawns. There's only one kind of grass, right? Wrong. There are so many different kinds of grasses. Just provide like the elk, for example. It provided camouflage, which is crazy. Like the way the horns, and you couldn't even see the rest of its body. The way its horns were just kind of sticking out. It could have honestly blended in with the grass. All right. Later, gators. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you learned something new and come to appreciate the natural tallgrass prairie beauty of Iowa and the Midwest. I'll see you in the next one.
I also wonder if I should go to Pella and get some Chick-fil-A.